All right, today we've got Brandon Scott with us today, and Brandon took one of our online welding courses. So we would like to introduce Brandon to you guys and ask him a few questions. So welcome, Brandon. And since you took our course, what was your welding like before you started taking our course?
Before I started taking the course, I couldn't TIG weld at all. I could MIG weld, and that was it. Knew nothing about TIG welding.
What did you want to try and achieve out of the course? What was it that you were looking for to say, hey, I want to take this course and there's something that I'm looking to get out of it?
What I wanted to get out of it was to be able to build race cars. I've had a desire to build them since I was 8 years old, and I wanted to achieve that, to do that for a lifetime, for my living, and do it for my life.
So was there something that you took the course and something that just really you got out of it that stuck with you to be able to weld these out?
Yeah, with every pass I make, it's like an art when it's done. The color, it's not just throwing a rod into the weld, it's art when it's done.
But what got you to that point? Was there something that was in the class that you said, hey, this one particular thing or these multiple particular things helped get me there?
Focus, lots of focus. You want a clear mind and watch every puddle you put in.
Right. So can you tell a difference from welding on a table to welding on a race car or crawling around in a race car? Can you tell the difference on, like, a lot of people tell me, well, it's easy to do a classroom, if you're welding on the table. And I tell them, I've welded with my knees or my, shins or whatever I've done, and some people don't believe me.
Right.
Has any of that helped you?
Yeah, I've welded with my elbow, I've welded with my shins and my feet. You're always in an awkward position, twisted up, upside down.
Right.
And you just got to touch the pedal with whatever you can.
So you took our online class.
Right.
And then I guess maybe you felt like you wanted a little bit more, so you went to a college, right?
Right.
So can you explain the differences between our class and the college that you went to?
Yeah. So I went to the college thinking I'd get more into the TIG welding, and it seems like anyone I talk to, they like to do structural steel, so it's just hold the pedal. With chassis, you can't just hold the pedal because you're going to burn all the carbon out of the metal and make it weak. I learned how to pulse weld and really thin metals. I'd never done thin metals until I started here. It was always really thick steel, like 1/4-inch steel or thicker. So I got really good with thin wall and pulse welding, and I can weld titanium, stainless, and you get a week maybe for stainless and like a week for chromoly, but you don't do no titanium or aluminum really at all.
So, but was with what we covered and what the teacher covered, were they kind of on the same page, or was
It went more in depth when it came to the race cars because you have to know a lot more, because there you just hold a pedal down and then you just feed rod into it. Here you got to watch your heat, you got to know how to control your machine, so you got to know everything about your machine to build a race car.
Right. And I feel, and me, I mean, when you go to college to weld and they teach you how to weld pipe, that's one thing, but when you come here to learn how to weld race cars, as you're building them, you have to know that people's lives are at stake.
Right.
You can't just say, that weld didn't turn out that great. Every weld that goes in these cars have to be perfect.
Right.
Because, at the end of the day, it's a possibility of somebody getting hurt in one of these cars. So, like we said, Brandon took our course, and he was close, and he came in and he applied, and Brandon's welding from day one to today. We've hired Brandon, and Brandon is our one that welds our chassis up for us. And so that's kind of a testament to say, we took a kid right off the street that wanted to be able to TIG weld, turned him onto the course, and he did it. I think one of the things that Brandon has was the passion to want to do it, the passion to want to learn, instead of saying, well, I kind of just want to get a course, spent $99, and didn't really open the course, or maybe watched one or two things and then didn't follow through with it. Where Brandon followed through with it, and you can kind of see today that Brandon is now welding top sportsman and pro mod cars, and he's doing a really good job with it. We still are guiding him, still teaching him more and more every day, but he has it to where he can weld on these cars. We appreciate you being here, Brandon, appreciate everything that you're doing, and we really recommend that if you guys want to really learn how to TIG weld, that you take the course, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for our next episode.